The new Natasha Denona collection is finally here, and we need to talk about whatever the fluff this is. What happened here? Welcome to this week's new makeup releases, where I come back every Friday and we talk about the new makeup that's been released, announced, and sneak peeked, and I let you know what I feel about these releases. Were these releases even needed? Did I already purchase a couple of them? And then you let me know down in the comment how you feel about these products. I'm super excited to let you know that today's video is sponsored by HelloFresh. I have been a lover and a subscriber of HelloFresh since 2020. This has been a staple in my household together with my husband for several years. HelloFresh is a meal service where every week you go in on the website, or you can do it several weeks in a row, and you pick what recipes you want to cook. HelloFresh will do all the planning and grocery shopping and deliver all the ingredients pre-measured to your doorstep, and all you have to do is the cooking. It's like picking things from a menu that you get to cook yourself, and you skip the things about meals that I hate the most, which is the grocery store and the planning part. Nobody told me that adulthood was all about planning what you're supposed to eat next. And HelloFresh takes that all out of the equation, and right now the menu is bigger than ever. You get 50 different things to choose from each week. You'll always find something that you like. There are so many different alternatives as well. Maybe you're trying to eat more calorie smart, maybe you're only picking the recipes that are quick. HelloFresh always has a bunch of quick recipes to choose from. I try to pick some of those. Or maybe you're trying to eat pescatarian, or like me and my husband, vegetarian. There's always things to choose from. And not only does it get delivered straight to your door, pre-measured ingredients, nothing is going to waste because you're going to be using all the things that they're sending to you, and you're going to be using easy to follow recipe cards with pictures. Love that you get pictures, because sometimes I need to look at the recipe cards and be like, what was this thing supposed to look like? I have never failed a HelloFresh recipe. They're super delicious meals. They're restaurant quality delicious meals, and they're easy to follow along recipes so that you can have really professional looking food on the table without all the hassle of planning the meals and saving time by going to the grocery store. And also, one of the main things for me and my husband why we do HelloFresh, because we do HelloFresh as a subscription. Not only this, because I'm working with HelloFresh, I do have a subscription with HelloFresh, and the reason why we keep doing it is because the meals are delicious. Like I said, we love HelloFresh, and also because it helps us to curb the amount of takeout that we do. Because when you have easy to cook recipes already at home in your fridge, there's really no excuse to be spending 20-30 minutes getting a home cooked meal. HelloFresh is also super flexible. Like I said, you can go into the app or the website, pick whatever dishes you want. You can skip a week if you want to, or you can update your delivery address. Maybe you're in a vacation home and you're going to get your HelloFresh there instead. The plan is very flexible. And one of the things that I really like, and what keeps me coming back to HelloFresh, is that they have seasonal recipes so that you can find different stuff for different seasons. Now we're getting into summer. We're getting those really fresh and summery recipes, and I love discovering new things or old favorites. And when you sign up today, you'll unlock free appetizers for life. So you can get the party started or enjoy a little pre-dinner treat with an appetizer of your choice in every HelloFresh box for free. So go to hellofresh.com and use the code APPS for free appetizers for life. One free appetizer item per box while subscription is active. That's code APPS at hellofresh.com for free appetizers for life. And I love that HelloFresh offers more things than just the meal. They have breakfast options, they have lunch options, they have the marketplace with different snacks like the appetizers and desserts. I always add something extra to my box because I feel like there's so many good things to choose from. So thank you so much HelloFresh for sponsoring this video, and if nothing else, click the link below and just scroll through their menu. They have so many good things to choose from, and I have discovered so many wonderful dishes through my years with HelloFresh. I did film this look. This is the member exclusive tutorial for this month. It's going to be live tomorrow on Saturday, and if you are a member of my channel, you will be getting access to all of my former tutorials as well. There is a full playlist of just old school makeup tutorials where I show you different techniques, show you different color combos, and I do take requests, so I do the looks that you want to see. In my description box there is a link to my membership in case you want to read up more. There's also a button next to the subscription button. I do have different tiers in my membership. If you join in on tier 1, you'll be able to access all my member tutorials. You'll also be able to use all the member exclusive emojis down in the chat. I do also have a tier 2 and tier 3, and there I'll do member exclusive Zoom calls where we just sit down and talk about life once a month. And I also have a member Instagram group chat that is usually pretty poppin'. I'll try and link the things that I am wearing though in case you're interested in a pinned comment down below. I used to do that a lot before, but I used to be very stressed on time the past year, so I kind of stopped doing it, but I'll do it again. It's gonna be in the pinned comment, all the things that I have on my face in case you are curious. So let me scoochie to the side. so that we can pop up some pictures and then like actually, because I want to see like actual pictures. I want to see big pictures. I want to see what people are talking about. And I think we need to start talking about the golden collection from NATASHA DENONA that now have launched. I called this the gold collection before, but she actually did rename the palette the golden palette. So this palette is now a midi palette, and she did say that she removed the teal shades, and someone did point out that like if you want to use those shades, there are in the Yucca palette, and I do agree with that, but I kind of wish that part of me is feeling that this past year with NATASHA DENONA, she kind of almost like lost that one thing that I really, really loved about the brand, because I love the formula. I think they're very easy to work with. I think that they are the best eyeshadow quality that you can get on like the mainstream stores, in my like not so humble opinion. But I will say one of the things that I really love with the brand was the way that she was able to bring in creativity and like this editorial vibe to color stories. And I feel like this past year I don't feel that anymore. I don't feel like the Sendo had that. I don't feel the I Needed Nude had that. I don't feel like this palette has that. They're just a little bit one-dimensional when it comes to like color story and like execution of like what kind of looks can you do with this. You can only do brown neutral looks, and some people would love that, but she lost her edge. She lost that little bit of just added mini kookiness that just made her brand so appealing to someone like me. With that being said, as the clown I am, I clearly bought this entire collection, and I will say I bought the eyeshadow palette, I bought the highlighter palette, and I bought the lip gloss that I thought was a sparkling gold gloss. I think it's a lip plumper, which makes me a little worried. I don't love a lip plumper, but my package was actually going to be delivered on Wednesday. But Sephora, well, they took my money for express shipping, and then they said, oh, you paid for overnight? No, we're gonna deliver this 9 p.m. on a Friday. So as I'm filming this, I still haven't received my package. So I'm gonna have a video on Monday instead. I know I'm gonna be the last creator on the planet Earth to have a video up, but I'm gonna try and do a really thorough video. I'm gonna compare it to the other neutral palettes that she has. I'm gonna do several looks, and I'm just gonna be like really going into it. And I also will say I did buy an extra, so I'm gonna have a giveaway in that video as well. So keep your eyes open for Monday. I'm very excited to be sharing that with you, because I usually do love the quality of NATASHA DENONA, and I want to see how do I feel about this. And I also really want to see what this highlighter formula is about, because she has different formulas, and they are not all created equal. You can buy them at her website, or you can buy them at Sephora. I don't know if it's available at Ulta. If I'm not 100%, check the description box for more links. I will have links and details and codes and release dates and all of that down in the description box in case you are interested. But you can buy it from her website, and you can use the code Angelica and you'll get 15% off your order, which is a great deal in case you were interested in this release. But you can also buy it from other retailers. Usually she sold at a lot of different retailers. And the only reason why I bought it at Sephora is because they released on Sephora first. But I learned my lesson. If I want something quickly, I just can't order from Sephora. NATASHA DENONA, the website, has much better shipping and much quicker shipping than Sephora has. Yesterday, I had another one of my what's new in indie makeup, basically doing 4 different indie releases and putting them in one video, comparing them to each other, doing some swatches, doing some demos, and just, you know, kind of like seeing what's new and fresh in the indie community, because sometimes things do be coming out in droves and it's really hard to keep up. One of the things that was in that video is the new palette by Unearthly Cosmetics. This is new to the market. It is not releasing yet. It is releasing the end of June. I'll put the exact date down in the description box. And this is my kind of color story. I mean, it is yellow, it is red and pink. It has 2/3 mattes and 2/3 shimmers, and it is just such a beautiful palette. This one will not be available for pre-sale. Instead, it will release on that day. I think it was either the 26th or the 28th of June, and you can use a code and get some money off, and it will ship right away. So it's not a pre-order on this one, but I am very excited about this palette. I'm like, is this my new favorite palette from Unearthly? it's top 3 for sure. It is so beautiful. I'm so excited about this one. Another one that I just got that is, I think this one is available now, and it is the new palette from DeDe's Signature. This one I got literally in yesterday. And you know, I've said with DeDe's Signature that she's always striving to make her brand better and better. And I've said that I wish that she would improve her packaging a bit. Stunning, really nice. It feels like great cardboard packaging. The front is beautiful, and like this looks so aesthetically pleasing. So this palette, together with some colored primers and also a rainbow pressed pigment single, I think those are available today. And again, you can use the code and get some money off. I have not tried this palette yet though, but I think she said that this is an even more improved matte formula, and I'm very excited. I'm loving this like quad over here. Think it looks beautiful. So just wanted to let you know that I have that one as well, and I will be doing something with it. One thing that I also have, but I haven't unpacked it yet, so I can't really show you because I still have them in their singles compartments, and that is this new collection by Nabla. Nabla is releasing another quad for the summer, and this is a quad of 4 special shades. And they do have this little like quad packaging that is see-through, and these quad packagings are top of the line, absolutely stunning. The prettiest quad packaging I've ever seen in my life. And like I said, these are 4 special shades. And when are these releasing? They did send them in PR, and I also got these yesterday, and I haven't like unpacked them. It's a Magichrome full set summer edition. If you buy it for $64, it is the 4 multi-chromes plus the quad plus the bag. I mean, these are 4 special shades, and usually special shades are a little bit more expensive. Nabla is an Italian brand, it is Italian made, but I will say it did look really pretty, and the bag is one of those like poofy ones. It's almost like a puffer jacket, but made into a bag. I got so excited when I saw this. Speaking of indie releases, if you have been here for a really long time in the indie community, and we are talking 6-7+ years here, Clionadh used to have 2 eyeshadow palettes, pre-made eyeshadow palettes with mattes and shimmers, and they were called Archeo and Paleo. And I did the little pamphlet with makeup looks for one of these palettes. It was like on the back of the box, I think. I'm not 100% sure. And they are now re-releasing these palettes with not, because the packaging used to be hand painted. So as you can probably realized they didn't have that many palettes, but now they are re-releasing these palettes. It's a Paleo and the Archeo palette, and apparently an Oceano palette as well. So there's going to be a 3rd palette, and says it's coming soon, and it is a remastered version. So I've only seen this black and white, and I don't know if these are going to be like the same color story, but what I can tell already from these black and white photos is that it's going to be the return of the matte formula, and they had a decent matte. Okay, let me rephrase. Some of their mattes were incredible. Not all mattes were created equal, and I think also they had some problems with them not being totally stable when shipping. I did not personally have any shattered mattes from Clionadh, but some others did, and that is the reason why they decided to go back to the drawing board and make all the mattes better, and also make them a little bit more shatter resistant. So apparently they have solved the puzzle, and I'm so excited for them to bring it back. I will also say, back in the day, indie mattes were nowhere near as good as they are today. There is a night and day difference between the indie mattes that I used to love and the indie mattes I love today. Makeup has come so far this last couple of years, and it is crazy now at the extreme quality you can get, and what we consider to be top of the line before and what we consider to be top of the line now. I am just so excited to see the innovations that have come, and like how far a lot of brands have come with time, and I cannot wait to see this. Clionadh rarely disappoints, and I really love the color stories of these palettes. The packaging was beautiful, the color stories, like I am just excited to see the comeback of pre-made palettes by Clionadh. I don't know when these are releasing or not, but you can always use a code at Clionadh and get some money off. My code is also valid on the stained glass shadows. It's not 10% off, it's less than that, but at least you get some money off on a product that's like a little bit more expensive, but I do think it's 10% off everything else on the Clionadh side, so hopefully that's going to work on these palettes too. e.l.f. released a new foundation. I actually did not buy this one because I was like, I have too many foundations that I love. I am not on the hunt for a new foundation at this point, and this is the Soft Glam Satin foundation, and it says it's long-lasting, hydrating, satin finish, breathable formula, and I was like, is this gonna be what I want? I wasn't sure, so I'm gonna look at some reviews. If people end up loving this foundation, I might end up picking it up later, but I wasn't dying to try it. There was nothing about this that sounded like, oh my god, yes, I definitely want that. It's only $8, which is kind of incredible, to be honest, and it comes in a squeezy tube, which is really, for me, a great way to have foundations because you can get every last drop out of it. They also released an eyeshadow primer, and this is the Lock It Down eyeshadow primer. It's only $7. It says this sounds like the Colourpop Party Proof and the Grip It, Lock It, Pop It, the one from Milk, the gripping primer from Milk that is not gripping, it is a slipping primer, and it sounds like that. Sheer, creamy primer that helps lock down your look. It says it's non-greasy, but like just the picture here and just them, like the sound of it, I'm like, oh, I don't know. Again, I'm dying to see how people feel about this one. There is some brands that have been able to make that formula good. I think the LH Cosmetics have a great primer that has been able to do that kind of a more almost creamy, semi-transparent base that's not greasy, horrible, the way that I feel like the Milk one is. I feel the Milk one is horrible. I feel like the Colourpop one is horrible. I don't like any of those two. I also feel like About Face has a better formulation with the same kind of properties, but it just works the way it's supposed to work. So if you're looking for something like that, I would say LH Cosmetics or About Face are my two favorites in that kind of formulation. I would say also the Kaleidos, it's somewhere in that neighborhood of that kind of a primer that just works better. But we are not done yet. e.l.f. has even more things, and this one is the Sun Boss gloss, the SPF 25 gloss that they have been hinting at. Now it is releasing, I think it's launching June 7th, which is the day that you're watching this, right? It's also going to be at Ulta, and I think the colors look really pretty. They look more pinky, I feel, in this picture than they did in the sneak peek that we had from before. But overall, I mean, it's nice. It's a mineral SPF 25 lip gloss, high shine, buildable color, and it has a tropical coconut scent. So I think that this will probably be a hit for summer. Again, $7. I mean, there are not that many affordable actual like drugstore brands left in the US that are like that price range, and I feel like e.l.f. for the most part still hits that in the way that like other brands like Maybelline and L'Oreal just don't anymore at all. Another brand that's still keeping it somewhat affordable is Colourpop, and they are coming out with 3 new shades of the So Juicy Plumping glosses, and these are more like pinky, peachy, corally shades. I mean, they're perfect for summer, and I gotta say, I am loving this approach for Colourpop. Not releasing a full collection, but just being like, this was a popular formula, here are 3 more shades for summer. Loving that, Colourpop. Please keep that energy. Just looking at popular like products and just releasing a couple of more colors and just keeping it a little bit more chill is probably because we all remember 2020, 2021, 2022 when Colourpop was releasing like a 12-piece collection every week, and it's like, chill. So this is much better. I do appreciate this a lot. I'm not myself gonna pick up any of these up, but it doesn't mean that I don't think that this is a great release. Another brand that is releasing a couple of more shades in a popular formula is the new blushes from M Cosmetics. They are releasing the Elysium. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. It feels weird, but I do think it's Elysium. And Seraph, and it is a coral peach and a bright pink. These are in the formula that's a really nice glowy baked sheer buildable blush formula. It's a beautiful formula. I have this in the bright orange shade, which is beautiful. I don't remember what that shade is called. I have no idea, and they're not, oh, they're showing here. Yeah, I have the Persimmon one. I think you can see here the comparison. I'll actually pop it up here so you can see, and you can see that they're not totally different from some of the shades that they had before. I will say Elysium and Magic Hour are pretty similar. Elysium is a little bit more peachy. Seraph is actually like a bright pink that they might actually have missed in their collection from before. Baroque was a pink, but not that bright pink. So, I mean, again, I don't think that it's a bad idea to release more shades in the formula that people love. And I will say M Cosmetics is one of those brands that the release schedule is something that I respect. They release something not too often and they do it with a purpose. And sometimes it's just 2 blushes and it's like, it's enough. And I respect the release schedule and the way that they release products. I think it's like, it's made with a purpose. It's never overdone. It's never too much, but it still like makes sense for the brand. Another brand that is releasing more colors, and this one I am a little bit more okay. And this is 2 new shades in the LYS Cream blushes. They are releasing Outgoing and Courageous. But now that I'm looking at this, I'm thinking Outgoing and Courageous. Because let me show you the swatch picture here. This picture was shown at release. So what I'm thinking, this is one of the things, and if you're watching my video, Makeup on Your Radar, this is one of the things that sometimes is confusing with the way that she reports on makeup news. She is not 100% always fact checking. I don't think that these are new shades. I think that these are shades that were made, they were available exclusively on the LYS website, and now they're available at Sephora too, because I think that this swatch picture is the exact same swatch picture as they had in the beginning. And I think that they have now just released those 2 shades, number 2 and number 3, the more bold ones that was exclusively for the LYS website themselves. I think they're now available at Sephora as well. That's what I think is going on here. So if you were eyeing those and you didn't want to buy from their website, they're now available at Sephora. I mean, I made a mistake too, because I read this as news and it wasn't news. It's just that those 2 shades are now available at Sephora. I hope that that makes sense. Let me talk about something that I'm thinking about buying. When I show you this, you're gonna be like, oh, well, that makes sense. That's a no-brainer. This is the new fragrance by Commodity. It's called Juice. I love fruity perfumes, but I love fruity perfumes that are not too gourmand. I don't want the vanilla, I don't want the cake, I don't want the crust, I don't want the waffle cone, I don't want any of that. I just want the fruit. I want the fruit salad, I don't want the fruit cake. And this one seems like fruit salad. The thing though that makes me a little curious about this one, because I did look this one up on Sephora, this is a floral perfume according to Sephora. But none of the notes in the fragrance is even remotely floral. So I'm wondering if either they have made a mistake or if they somehow still count this as a floral perfume even though all the notes are fruity, or if the notes that they are telling me about is not all the notes. So I do need to make even more research about this one. It's up already on the Sephora website, but I couldn't, it's like a coming soon kind of a product. But check the link down below if you want to read up more about it. And this one does come in the same as Commodity always does, is that they have a personal, which is, it only smells if you come closer. And then they have an expressive one that is like more like a normal fragrance that has a little bit of like a throw to it, but it's not like crazy. And then they have a bold one that's one of those like the perfume enters the room before you. That's not my favorite. I usually get the expressive ones from them. And in the personal and expressive, it is labeled as a floral, but in the bold, it is labeled as an earthy and woody. And that's probably because that one has amberwood as well, which I don't want. I don't want the fruity to be that. I don't need that. But the key notes are strawberry, raspberry pulp, and rhubarb. And I love fragrance with rhubarb. It is one of those things that's just tangy and fruity and fantastic. I have two rhubarb perfumes in my collection, one from Hermes and one from Jo Malone. They're both amazing, and I kind of think I need to try this one. But I'm gonna get the expressive one. I'm not gonna get the bold one because I feel like that one is gonna be too heavy. Usually though, they add those notes that just give a punch. The amber, the woods, all of that, I'm not about it. So this is just me talking about a fragrance that I want to buy. I like fruity fragrances. So this picture makes me want to have Coolie. Speaking of snacks, Juvia's Place has released some new lip glosses, and these are the Smoothie lip gloss. This is a non-sticky, high shine, plumper looking lip kind of a thing. It's $14. All the 6 shades are available at Juvia's Place. You can use my code and get some money off, or you can buy them at Ulta, but I think only 4 shades are available at Ulta. These are more pinky leaning glosses, which is not my journey. It's not my jive. I know for some people this is perfect. This is exactly what people want. I don't need or want this. So even though I really appreciate Juvia's Place as a brand, I don't think that this is the right release for me. But if you love a pinky gloss, you have lots of different undertones here. Last week we talked about the new blushes from Morphe, but there are more things in this like whole new thing, and they are releasing the blushes. They're releasing a new blush brush. They're also releasing the Nude Ambition Artistry palette, which is a $20 palette that has, what is that? 18 shades, I think. And then there are the Dripglass Glazed High Shine Lip Glosses, which comes in different shades. One of them seems to be a clear. I think these are already available at Ulta. I will link them down below. I don't want any of these, but I appreciate them releasing a smaller palette. And I also will say this color story of this palette reminds me of a slightly leaning a little bit more on the warmer side, the cool neutrals from Sigma, because this one has the caramels, the sandy colors, the cool toned, almost clayey reds, and then the grays and that last like cool tone row. Is it the same thing? No, but maybe if you're looking for something like that, but more affordable, you can get it from Morphe. Probably not the same quality, but still. I've heard that Morphe Shadows has gotten better with time. This clearly will not be the one that I try, but I just wanted to let you know that there are more things in that collection than the blushes that we talked about last week. Another thing that's also like more neutral, maybe you're interested, and these are new quads from Nars. It is the Rong and the Saint Paul quads. If I'm not entirely incorrect, I'm pretty sure that those are the ones. Yeah, 2 different quads. One is a neutral, like just matte quad, which honestly, if that one has great quality, if that like light matte shadow is perfect, I might be convinced, because it's like an all neutral one. But again, with that being said, do I need it? Not really, but I do like the look of that a lot. The other one is more like a peachy brown that has a shimmer in it as well. I think that this is a very smart release for the brand. A lot of people are going to look at this and be like, this is perfect for me. Maybe they didn't want to get the matte palette from Makeup by Mario. They wanted to get something smaller. You can get the same vibe in the quad. And I have heard that Nars has great eyeshadow. Oh, I've tried actually some eyeshadows from Nars, and I do remember liking them now that I think back of it. But am I going to run out and buy these? Absolutely not. But if I see them in Sephora and they swatch amazingly, honestly, I do like me a little neutral quad. I'm not against it. There has been a lot of commotion this last week because Rihanna has now released, or at least released a date for Fenty hair. This is going to be a whole new hair care line, and I don't know what to say more about this. It's coming June 13th, and from the sneak peeks that she's been showing, she's gonna have products for way different skin textures and a lot of different products like shampoos, masks, and styling products. I mean, I can tell you right now, this is not something that I am dying to try. Not that I'm not interested in Fenty. I actually really like Fenty as a brand. It's just that hair care is one of those things that I'm more like haphazardly fall into products. It is not as like planned and precise with hair care products as it is with like skincare or with makeup. It's more haphazardly, I need a texture spray, I buy one. Oh, I didn't like this, I'll buy another one next time. Or, oh, I love this, and then I never look for another one again. That's where I'm at with hair care products. So I don't hate this, but I also am like, I won't be the one to review it for you. I can tell you that. There's also Laneige is releasing a new flavor or a new scent in their lip masks. And this is going to be Watermelon Pop. Honestly, that's great. And also what's really smart with this one, it is watermelon scented, and the product is red in a red jar, and then the lid is green, like the peel of the watermelon. Super smart marketing. That's really smart to make the packaging like that. I actually have one mask that I've been using, and I realized a couple of weeks ago that mine has gone bad. I don't need to buy a new one, but it tells me I don't go through these. I don't go through these before they go rancid, so I'm not gonna buy another one. I have one from Colourpop from the Winnie the Pooh collection that I'm still using. I'm just gonna use that until it goes rancid. I just don't go through lip masks. I don't know why. Some people go through them and I'm like, how? Maybe I don't have dry enough lips. Body splashes and body sprays and body spritzes has been so popular after people have been getting really into fragrances and then really into body care. And this is just the next step. This is the thing you're gonna see every fragrance brand. I said that in the beginning of the year when I was talking about predictions. You're gonna see so many body sprays, and now Nest is coming out with body sprays, and this is the Madagascar Vanilla, Balinese Coconut, Turkish Rose, Seville Orange, Indian Jasmine. They are up on, this is for our website right now. I do not do body sprays. I know a lot of people do. I have friends that say that they can't do fragrance because they get a headache. I love fragrances. I spray myself with fragrances at least twice a day, usually 3-4 times a day. And I usually do one for the daytime and then I spray myself with another time, like for nighttime. I have so many that like just evokes feelings with me. But body sprays, I only have one, and it's like I think it is one from Sol de Janeiro, yeah, that I use like by the pool, or if I'm on like vacation when like a fragrance is not maybe the right thing to use and I want to spritz all over and I don't want to like get like, because if you use fragrance on your skin and then you're like in the sun, you might get sunspots, but a body spray doesn't like do that to you. So that's when I'll use like a body spritz like that. But I do think that it's great that there's more coming out though. It's just not perfect for me. But sometimes, and I always think about this in fashion, when something is popular that is not for me, I always think, well, look at me saving money because I don't want to buy into that trend at all. We've seen a sneak peek over at Sephora that Glossier has changed their the stand that they're going to be including some lip liners. And if you didn't know, I love lip liners. It's one of my absolute favorite makeup products. I put lip liner on regardless. If I'm putting any slick of makeup on my skin, lip liner is going to be one of the products. I love lip liner so much. I have a very blurry, undefined lip line, and I like a sharp lip. I like something that is defined. I don't like the blurry edge. I'm about the lip liner, okay? So they're going to be releasing some lip liners. These are the Enhancing Hydrating Longwear Lip Liner Pencil. That's a really, really long name. And it says that it's seamless, water resistant for smooth enhancement. It's going to be 8 natural shades. And when it comes to lip liners, I actually appreciate that. So I might look into this because I remember their eye pens were so good. But I hope the lip pens are not that creamy. Glossier, which is an indie brand that is based out of Sweden, has released powdered bronzers. They do have liquid bronzers from before, and the quality of those are really good. I just couldn't find a perfect shade for me. And now they are releasing some powder bronzers. These are On Cloud 9 Hybrid Cloud Bronzer. These are $18 each, and you can also buy them as a set with a brush and a matching liquid bronzer for $41. You can use a code, you can get some money off. And when is this one available? I think it's available now in case you were interested. I've said this before, I love seeing indie brands branch out and create more products in different ranges, because I will be honest, when it comes to reviewing makeup, or the thing that I get the most excited about, it's always eyeshadow. It's always eyeshadow, but that doesn't mean that in the long run, the products that I use the most, the things that I pan, the things that I rebuy, that's never eyeshadows. It is bronzers and concealers and lip liners and eye pencils. Those are the things, eye primers, those are the things that I rebuy. So when I can find something that I really love from an indie brand that's something else than eyeshadows, I love that. Being able to like repurchase something that you have like used up. I am a big fan of that. So I'm super excited to see them get into bronzers. I really hope they're good quality. Another indie brand that is hinting that they're gonna have a new launch soon is NATASHA Cosmetics. They are having a new launch on June 25th, which means that they're probably gonna start sneak peeking soon. I do think I watched this reel where this picture is from, and I'm pretty sure they said it was going to be a colorful palette on the 25th, which makes me very excited. I didn't love their last launch. I didn't think the quality of those shadows were as good as I expect from NATASHA Cosmetics, which makes me sad. But here's the thing, you can love a brand, you can love what they release without loving everything that they release. There is no brand on planet Earth that only has hits. And it's not that the product is bad, it's just that it didn't fit me because I've seen other people loving it. Just depends on what do you want a product to do, what kind of result are you expecting, and what are you comparing it to. So those are big things to keep in mind when you see people reviewing stuff and just being like, what do I expect from a product? What do I already have in my collection? And am I looking for the same things as this reviewer? Like, do we have the same preferences? Do we have the same expectations of what makeup should do? Always something to keep in mind when you are watching reviews. But I will say, super excited about a new colorful palette from Nomad. I really love the Ireland one that they did. We also have a sneak peek from Patrick Ta Beauty. He is sneak peeking this and he says he's coming up with something. I think that this is going to be a liquid highlighter. Anything else would not make sense at this point. So I think it's a cream highlighter or a liquid highlighter. That is what I'm guessing. I might be incorrect. But that's what I think it's going to be. Some kind of a liquid or cream highlighter. Maybe it's like a primer or like for underpainting. Maybe it's another one of those Hollywood Flawless filter kind of a thingamajiggies, but I will say this sneak peek doesn't really give that energy. So I'm guessing that it's going to be a liquid highlighter. Maybe they've already announced it as I'm editing this later today and I'll be able to pop it off. If you don't see it, we'll talk about it next week because I'm sure he'll show it real soon. But I'm excited to see some new things from him. He does have some hits, he does have some misses, as with all brands. But I will say for me, I think that Patrick Ta has more misses than hits, if I'm gonna be honest. Another brand that is sneak peeking that they are gonna be releasing highlighters, but these are pressed highlighters, are Gucci. This do be looking really intriguing. There is a dark warm bronze, like almost like a burnt coffee, and then there is a lilac lavender highlighter, and I think a lot of people are gonna go bonkers for this lavender highlighter. Not for me. Not for me. If you have a cool undertone and you're like fair light, I think that is perfect. Or if you're looking for that like strong lilac shift on your cheeks, for me, light medium with a warm undertone, it's not perfect, but it gives me hope and it makes me intrigued to see what other things they're coming out with, because I hope that these are not the only two shades. I would be sad and surprised if these are the only two shades, because none of these shades are perfect for me, but it do be looking really nice. A lot of things from Gucci makeup is amazing, especially their lip colors. I didn't love their foundation. It wasn't for me. I thought it oxidized a lot and it looked very heavy on the skin. But this, I could be down for this. Danessa Myricks has also hinted that she's finally releasing a concealer in the Yummy Skin formula, which makes total sense because she has so many things in that formula, in that like category, I should say, in that family. So there's going to be a Yummy Skin Lift and Flex Concealer, medium to full coverage concealer, powered serum hybrid formula that flexes to its skin to lift, smooth, correct, and cover with a natural soft matte finish. Sounds amazing. I hope it's not too thick. $30 each, 20 shades, coming beginning of July. I will definitely be trying this one out. I hope it's not too creamy because those tend to look very, very heavy on my under eyes. I have a lot of loose skin. I'm 40. The skin under my eyes is definitely the skin that's changed the most. I can't do those heavy, super creamy concealers. It doesn't work for me. It looks super heavy. It creases no matter what. So I really hope that this is not that. But I have high hopes because I do think that overall, Danessa Myricks does really, really good like complexion products. Another sneak peek, and I feel like we've been talking about this from before, but Rhode is finally coming with their cream blushes. It is going to be 6 different shades. These are not for me. I've never tried anything from Rhode. I have nothing against Rhode whatsoever. I'm sure the brand is great. I will say the packaging reminds me a lot of Westman Atelier, and which has that like really chubby plastic packaging, and then the stick is like slimmer. I have no feelings regarding that. I can either take it or leave it, but I will say I don't think a cream blush will be the first thing that I try from any brand for the first time. So I'm gonna be skipping on this, but I'm sure it's gonna be a hit because Rhode seems to be a darling brand right now. Do you remember Alamar? I feel like Alamar like disappeared from the face of the earth, But they are back and they are releasing some Vivas Las Chicas, and it is a fair light, medium tan, and a dark rich with a blush, a highlighter, and a bronzer. This is the kind of trio that I usually don't go for because it's very unlikely that I am going to prefer all the shades that are in. With that being said, the one that seems to be the medium tan, which I feel like should be too deep for me, because again, that's what I'm saying. The bronzer is probably too deep for me, but the highlighter and the blush seems like something I would like. But the blush and the highlighter is way too light and too pink, and I even think the bronzer is too pink in the fair light. So these trios just never work for me. But I know there's a lot of people out there that love these like all-in-one. I don't have to think, the combination has already been made for me. I like to do the combination myself, but that orange blush do be looking really pretty. Do I need another orange blush? I need an orange blush like I need a hole in my head, but I do love an orange blush, which is, I mean, debatably not the same thing. Okay, I feel like we have to talk about this one. This is from P.LOUISE, and I recognize looking at this that this is made for makeup artists. This is an eyeliner palette. It has 30 shades of water activated liners. It is part of the June's budget box, which I'm like, why? Imagine paying for a subscription of makeup and getting this monstrosity that is literally inspired by an LP record and probably the size of an LP record, and is 30 shades of neutral cake liners. Here's the thing. There is nothing wrong with wanting to have a bunch of shades, but this is a makeup brand that is by a makeup artist, mainly for creatives, makeup artists. And if there's one thing I have learned from myself working as a freelance makeup artist and from knowing a lot of makeup artists, is that one thing that you are taught is that you need to be able to mix your own custom shade. And what I feel like P.LOUISE is teaching people here with this palette is that you don't need that skill as a makeup, which you do need that skill as a makeup artist. They just pre-mixed all the shades and put them in a palette. But if you are a talented makeup artist, you don't need that. This could have been a 6-pan and you should have been able to mix your shades yourself. And that's the part that makes me a little confused, because I'm like, how can a makeup artist brand release 30 shades of cake liner in this monstrosity and just be like everything you need? And it's like, you could have had everything you need in less. And if you're not a makeup artist, what on earth would you do with 30 shades of cake liners like this when so many of them are so similar to each other? You don't need that for yourself. You could have just had a duo with 2 shades together, a lighter and a darker brown. There's literally no need. I'm so confused by this brand sometimes, but they're so hyped on TikTok. Like, they're so hyped on TikTok, and it makes me so confused when I see stuff like this, because clearly the brand is releasing this because they think they're gonna sell. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here and I almost feel like I'm like a complaining boomer. I'm like, who's buying this? But clearly people are. I cannot imagine a world where I would need this, even in my makeup kit. Where am I going with this? It makes 0 sense. And that was everything for this week. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please let me know, what are you intrigued by? Like, what would you like to get? I feel like my hair is in need of a little... Is that better? It's a little better. I would love to hear what you think about these releases and what you would like to get, because honestly, I want to get that perfume, the juicy one, and I already did get the NATASHA DENONA, and then of course I was lucky to get a couple of things in PR. But I would love to hear your thoughts, and I would love to see if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Remember, it is okay to disagree with me. You don't have to agree with me. Friends do not always agree, but friends are always kind and respectful towards each other. I think that's the main thing. And also, thank you so much again, HelloFresh, for sponsoring this video. I am a big fan of HelloFresh. Don't forget to check them out in the description box as well. I hope you're having an amazing weekend. I'm filming this on Thursday. Samantha March is I'm picking her up at the airport later tonight. We're gonna have an amazing weekend here in Austin together with a couple of you, actually. Subscribers are coming down here. So that's gonna be amazing as well. But yeah, I will see you tomorrow in the member tutorial. But if you're not a member, the video is going to be on Monday, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that that's going to be NATASHA DENONA.